Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here. Not too long ago I did a video on the Ruger Mini 30 and why I think it makes the perfect ranch rifle. Now let's talk about the Ruger Security 6 and why I think it makes the perfect woods gun. Now, right off the bat, I'm just going to say that I'm not saying that the Security 6 is necessarily the specific model that makes the perfect woods gun. What I'm saying is that a gun like a Security 6 is the perfect woods gun. In other words, a full-size 357 Magnum revolver that fits a certain set of criteria. As opposed to with the Mini 30, that was really the only gun in its category with that set of criteria. So anyway, let's talk about woods guns. First off, let's talk about what a woods gun is. And I do have a video on what I consider to be a woods gun, but my definition of a woods gun is basically a handgun that you take in the woods with you, whether you're hunting or you're just going through the woods doing maintenance work on your property, or maybe just going on a hike or something. But a handgun that you generally use for defensive purposes, but you could also use for hunting purposes if the animal that you're hunting for gets close enough to you where you don't need a rifle. So, guns that I consider to be good woods guns are like full-size 1911s, full-size 9mm or 40 cals, and of course 357 Magnum revolvers, and 44 Magnum also works well. But I generally like the 357 Magnum because I think, at least in my area, it is just the perfect round for taking out pretty much anything that you would come across. I live in Missouri, so I don't have to worry about like grizzly bears or things like that, so I don't really need a 44 Magnum. So, what are the set of criteria that makes the Ruger Security 6 the perfect woods gun? Well, in my opinion, the perfect woods gun is a 357 Magnum revolver that is full size, and anything full size I would say be like a K-frame Smith & Wesson on up, which the Security 6 fits that size. Has a nice full set of grips on it, so it's not like a J-frame or a Taurus 85 or an SP 101 where it's a compact revolver. You want a full-size revolver with a full-size grip so you can control that revolver better. You want it to be double and single action. So double action if you're being attacked by something and seconds matter, but single action in case an animal that you're hunting comes close enough to you where you can use the single action mode and just have that nice light trigger pull and have a nice accurate shot. You want to have at least a 4-inch barrel, but I would say no longer than a 6-inch barrel. You really don't need anything longer than 6 inches because at that point it's just too long, and if you're pulling a really long handgun out of your holster, it can get caught up and it just kind of hinders your ability to pull it out fast and do a quick draw and shoot something that could be attacking you. And you want to have at least 6-round capacity. So 6-round is the standard capacity on a revolver, a full-size revolver. But some revolvers have 7 or 8 rounds. So obviously, if you get a 7 or 8 round revolver, it's going to be good too. In fact, maybe even a little better. But for a standard revolver, you're typically talking 6 rounds of 357 Magnum, and 6 rounds is generally plenty when you're talking about a woods gun. If it takes more than 6 rounds, you're in a pretty bad situation anyway. One other thing you want to have is a good set of adjustable sights. You want to have a good set of sights that you can see, you can pick up fast. Like this particular set of sights has a nice orange ramp on it, so it's kind of high vis, and of course it is adjustable. I would say stay away from your basic fixed sights, because just because they're fixed sights doesn't mean that they're going to be on. A lot of times fixed sight revolvers are not that accurate, and you can't adjust for that lack of accuracy. You have to compensate for it. And as opposed to this revolver or any revolver like this, where you can adjust for a specific load, and say a specific load that you're carrying shoots a little bit low or a little bit high, you can adjust for that. And you can also adjust for windage as well. And, some revolvers you might even be able to adjust the front sight, but I'm not aware of any that you are. Most of them are either pinned in place or put in it for a dovetail. So if it's dovetail, you can adjust for windage, but generally speaking, your revolvers are all, the adjustments are all in the back. So that is pretty much the set of criteria that I think makes the perfect woods gun. 357 Magnum revolver, full size, at least 4-inch barrel, but no longer than 6 inches, at least 6 round capacity, but 7 or 8 rounds obviously better. Double action, single action, double action for when seconds count, single action for when seconds don't count and you want a nice accurate shot, and a good set of adjustable sights so that you can tune your revolver into a specific load, and not have to compensate just with your eyes and your memory. So that's pretty much all the things that I think make a good woods gun, or the perfect woods gun. Again, like I said, other guns that make good woods guns are 44 Magnums or 1911s, or like Beretta 92s and other pistols alike. 10 millimeter makes a good woods gun. All those are good choices, but I think, in my opinion, this is the perfect woods gun for me. Another thing that you can do with a revolver over a semi-automatic, I forgot to mention this, is you can generally, in a lot of revolvers, you can shoot really powerful rounds, or you can shoot really weak rounds. I don't know why you'd want to do that in a woods gun, but you can, and you don't have to worry about reliability with a reciprocating slide. In other words, in like a 9mm or 10mm or 45 or something, if your round is too weak or maybe even too powerful, you could have a malfunction. With a revolver, you don't have to worry about that, and you can shoot birdshot reliably out of a revolver. You don't have to worry about lack of power in that birdshot round to operate the slide. So if you carry a woods gun for snakes and you use birdshot, or snake shot as some people like to call it, you don't have to worry about reliability issues with a revolver like you do a semi-automatic. So that is the perfect woods gun. My particular model is the Ruger Security 6, but generally speaking, a K-frame Smith & Wesson, or even a bigger Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum, or a Colt, or a Taurus, or any other revolver that fits that specific set of criteria makes the perfect woods gun, in my opinion. So anyway, subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.